Hello and welcome to this newest video by Coco RL10 on Hunter Under Saddle. We typically think of Hunter Under Saddle as the English version of the Western Pleasure class, and that's what it basically is. And over the years it has evolved into its own class from it used to be a showing off your hunter horses. In the rules it states that Hunter Under Saddle is the purpose of the Hunter Under Saddle horse is to present or exhibit a horse with a bright, alert expression whose gait show potential of being a working hunter, which means jumping. What this first sentence means is they don't want to see the horse with its ears back and swishing its tail throughout the entire class. Its gait must be free-flowing. They don't want it to look mechanical or anything. Ground covering, they want a long stride. And athletic. They don't want an out-of-shape horse. Hunter Under Saddle horses should be suitable purpose, meaning you don't want a Western horse in this class. It is perfectly acceptable at small shows, but at national level shows, you would just want a regular English horse to do this. Hunters should move with long, low strides, reaching forward with ease and smoothness, be able to lengthen stride and cover ground with relaxed, free-flowing movement while exhibiting correct gaits that are of the proper cadence, meaning they don't want you going too slow. But they used to go much faster, but now it's evolved to be a little slower so the judges can actually see what they're moving, how they're moving. The quality of the movement and the consistency of the gaits is a major consideration, meaning they don't want a horse to be very smooth. They want a horse to be smooth all the way around, not choppy one direction and fine the next, at all gaits. Horses should be obedient, have a bright expression with alert ears, and should respond willingly to the rider with light leg and hand contact. Horses should be responsive and smooth in transition, meaning this is very important. This is where a lot of horses lose it. They're good at the gaits, but they kind of lose focus when they're going into transition. So you really need to train your horse for Hunter Under Saddle to have their transitions very nice and smooth. When asked to extend the trot or hand gallop, they should move out with the same flowing motion. We've never asked for an extension, usually in a pleasure class, but it is common in Hunter Under Saddle classes. The pole should be level with or slightly above the withers to allow proper impulsion behind, meaning they want the head, the withers, and the head. And if you go back to this picture, it's below the withers. And the horse's head's a little far down, but that's the style of today. This class will be judged on performance, condition, and conformation, meaning they don't want a sway-backed horse, they don't want an out-of-shape horse, and they don't want a horse that's lame. Maximum credit shall be given to the flowing, balanced, willing horse, which is basically summing up everything from here. At the option of the judge, all or just the top 12 horses may be required to hand gallop one or both ways of the ring. Never more than 12 horses to hand gallop at one time. At the hand gallop, the judge may ask the group to halt and stand quietly on a free or loosened ring. Okay, now we're going to go and watch some YouTube videos. I don't show Hunter Under Saddle, so it's kind of hard for me to describe it, but I think you can learn and watch best by watching some videos. So I'm going to show you some clips. One of the World Show, and one is a rookie class at a regional show. So if you see in this clip, this is not the top quality. Her horse's head is moving. It's the black horse right here. The horse's ears are constantly moving and back, and it doesn't look as happy as some of the other horses, so she'll be marked down for that. Her head, they usually like a little tucked in, but it looks pretty good. His stride's pretty good. She could push him out a little more to make him flow nicer, but this is a rookie Under the Saddle class as compared to this horse, who's probably more of a Western horse and isn't pushed out at all. So she is a champion, and she's obviously the nicest horse in this class. But if we look at some of the other ones, this one's being fresh. You can look at the ears, and it just doesn't look happy. So that's something you could tell. And now let's skip a little bit. Let's wait for it to catch up. Sorry. Oh, it's not open yet. Still not open. Still not open. So I'll try this video. Here we go. So you see our horse's head's bobbing a little bit, and that is not desirable. He has a fake tail and he's not squishing it, her horse, that's good. His ears are back, they'd like to be forward. She could also push them out a little more this way. But overall she looks pretty good. So that's kind of what you want a hunter and saddle horse to look like. So this is this level, and there's not as much noticeably a change as from the pleasure horses to the hunter or saddle, but you can definitely tell the difference with the world show horses. So now I'm just going to switch to that video. So this horse and rider are at the world show, as you can tell by the dirt. Let me skip a little ahead. So here, this horse is actually one of the nicer ones. His head should be tucked in and down more. She's doing a little bit of there. But if you look at that horse, his head also needs to be down. But they extend their horses more, like right there. Their heads are down. Especially with this one's probably the nicest from what I've seen. Their heads are tucked in and down. They need to be lower than their poll for this. She's doing better right now. It's kind of hard to show the world show. Yep. She's pushing him out, but he's not going too fast. You can see his legs moving. He's a very pretty mover. He's very responsive. His ears are up and forward. She's passing nice. That's what you would like your hunter and saddle horse to look like at the trot. And white horses are not common, so she will stick out in the ring. Now let's flip a little forward. Here we go. So here's the lope. Obviously they're not going fast. They're not going as slow as the pleasure horses. But then you'd expect English horses to go a little faster, but not in hunter and saddle. They like to be slow and cadenced, and see the kind of up and down movement that's desirable. His ears are forward still. He's not really rocking his head, but you could do with a little less movement, and his head could be. It depends on the horse. With the head, that's fine for that horse, and some horses you'd like to see it lower. He's very flowy. He's obviously in good condition, and he's everything we were talking about before in the slides. So now, if we just go back to the slides, this is not going to be one of my longest videos. So, here on the slide we have tips for hunter under saddle. Remember to keep your horse's nose tucked in, not out, as we saw in that class. His head should rest below his withers. We didn't see that as much with the white horse, but we definitely saw it with the first video and the black horse. Slightly higher than the pleasure horse's neck, yes. But you don't want him so low that he can't move right. You still want his movement shouldn't be restricted by his neck. His stride needs to be elongated, pushing him out, as I explained before, and elegant. You don't want a choppy stride at all. Like the white horse is much more prettier than the black horse. He needs to be slow enough so you can see his legs move. Yeah, you don't want him to be rocking around the ring 100,000 miles an hour. But it also needs to be faster than jog so that your horse is moving correctly. Correct movement. This one's actually stayed pretty close to the rules overall, unlike pleasure, but I'm not into it, so there's probably things that people do. I would like to show it, my horse it's not him. The walk needs to be very slow, like a pleasure walk. We didn't really see a lot of the walk, but yes, it does need to be close to a pleasure walk. And yeah. The canter also is similar to the jog. The jog just needs to see the horse's legs move. True again, and they need to be collected That's the other word I'm looking for. They can't be strung out. They want them to see move correctly, and a horse can't move correctly if they're strung out. With the pleasure horses, they can get a little strung out, but the best ones are always together. Each transition needs to be smooth, and no noticeable change in head position is needed. I don't like it. Sorry, that word's wrong. So they need to keep their head the same at all times, no noticeable rocking of the head, and things like that. The horse needs to exhibit good manners, and he needs to be a happy horse. You sometimes see pleasure horses with their ears out, and they still win because they have the best movement, but not so much. That could be the determining factor in winning a hunter-under saddle class, if your horse is happy or not, if you have the same type and quality. So it needs to have good manners, pay attention to the rider. You don't want to see a lot of noticeable aids. You just want to see him go. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. And Coco R10's Hunter under Saddle video out.